deliveries to come. But why don't we take a look here at our calendar? This is going to be coming up here on SimGrid. All the future events here. We have coming up GT3 Championship this Sunday. And to support our GT3 Championship as well is going to be our Porsche Cup. We can do SimGrid in chat there. You can find the link in chat if you guys are interested in partaking in any of these championships. But the Porsche Cup Series is going to be an hour started before, 35 sprint race on the Misano circuit this time around. After that, we also have some fun events coming up. We have a 6-hour endurance race. That's going to be November 11th at 11:30 Eastern Time at Watkins Glen. Make sure you guys sign up for that one. That one I'm really looking forward to. 6 hours at the Glen is going to be an absolute thriller. Beyond that, we have our GT3 Championship, or excuse me, GT4 Championship coming up. That's going to be both rookies and our open. We have, of course, the Rookie Championship going to be before that, starting off before the, opener, sorry, just ending that. 40 minutes on the clock for the GT Open. Anyone can sign up for that. That is, of course, going to be our Patreon Championship. If you guys are interested, we'll go over that in a little bit. But also, we have a Patreon that just got recently launched. If I can spell it correctly, I did. You can find the link to that in chat as well. But that is going to be very exciting. M2 Championship race, Patreon Championship. Of course, you can also pay to enter otherwise. But the Rookie Championship completely free and going to be extremely fun as well. And what you're currently looking at now, of course, the M2 Reverse Grid Kyalami 2020 doubleheader. Next to that will be Olton Park, of course, on October 26th, another 2020 doubleheader, as it will be throughout the entirety of this championship. We have the cars getting ready to race out onto the track here, at least not quite race yet. We're going to start the qualifying session as it has it, and we will have 20 minutes on the clock. I think it'll be a split qualifying, odds and evens potentially, or it might just be a free dash with everyone out there, considering we only have 15 drivers, but we'll see, we'll see. We'll also welcome everybody. Let's get some sounds rolling here. You can hear the awesome M2 engine as it roars through the straight six. Of course, a very unique sound. And pop on board here. This is going to be Professor Chronotis. Of course, one of our amazing admins out there. Why don't we hop down here into the session. Also, welcome everybody. I see we have Provolone, Lizzie, Doc Milwee. Hope you guys are having a lovely afternoon or evening. I guess for both of you guys, for everyone there, pretty much evening. But once again, hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this world, of course. People joining us from all around. That is going to be extremely fun. Of course, the GT3 support series, the Porsche Cups. That was a very Brazilian-dominated series last time around, so I really can't wait for that. Hopefully we see some Lucas Mind action in there, as well as a few others. I know Dan Versosa will be next to me in the booth, so we won't be seeing that Brazilian out on track, but we'll not be missing him for a second. Cars beginning their 2.8 mile outlap here, coming down the mine shaft now, as we are at the crest of Leeuwkop. Down the hill towards the crocodiles, of course, you can see a car blasting by there. Blasting is not necessarily the word I would use to describe the pace of these M2s. They are not necessarily going to be up to par when it comes to straight line speed with your traditional GT3s that you're used to seeing. They also don't have as much downforce as you're seeing right now. An absolute handful for Dan Brace, as he is going to be coming across the line to start the first lap of the session now. Comes through the first corner, the kink, very easily, flat out, of course, fifth gear, looking for the braking marker, around the 100-meter board, gets on it nice and early. Third gear to crest the apex. We had to go down to second. No, we're going to hold third for the traction there. Come through the sweep into barbecue here, trying to take it a little bit shallower than expected. A few tenths off there, as he did have a little bit of a correction on exit. Dan's a very talented driver, too, in the Ironman M2 this time around. But in the GT4's little short shift there. Wasn't quite confident the car was going to grip up, and I can see why. Lots of understeer. Early downshift to third. Very, very shaky on the wheel. Looks like he's milking a cow. Into the S's now. Very, very on the knife's edge is Dan Brace. He is holding on by the seat of his pants, taking a nice wide entry, though, at the top of the hill here. We're going to reach the top of the elevation. That is, of course, 25 meters here, 78 feet. And it's going to be the big descent now down the mine shaft. This is going to be basically all the elevation in one shot here. Flat out through the mine shaft into the crocodiles now, on the brakes very early to try to get the rotation there. Of course, these cars lacking in downforce, and you can see that. These are basically souped up road cars is more or less how I would describe these. Fourth gear for Cheetah. Lots of confidence, too, from Dan Brace there. We come to the line now. What's it going to be? We were seeing 155s, I think, in free practice. I only caught a glimpse of that. As we come to the line now, it is going to be a 156.3. Definitely more time on the table there for Dan. He is just going to be, that it will be his first lap. We have the tin can back again from Casey Schutte. The 444 M2. It's got that little tiny wing on the back. That's about it when it comes to downforce. These cars, like I say, understeery as all can be. Casey there through the second corner. Looks very planted, I will say. Of course, these cars are always going to look planted. It's very hard to get them out of shape beyond mid-corner. Having a bit of a moment mid-corner is about the only reason you would do that. The Simcast here, right along with Jacob Cunningham. So calm and melodic compared to the violent nature of a GT3, you know? You got the Ferrari that's going to be popping and crackling in your ear with the V8 and the turbochargers, and then you just got this thing. You got the straight six. You're just chilling. The M2 has a straight six in it, right? Chat, can you correct me? I'm pretty sure the M2 is. I'll just Google it. Yes, it does have a straight six. Okay, we're good. 453 horsepower we're looking at here. We're just gonna also, oh my goodness, that car. Okay, I know I said there's a roadblock. Jacob stays flat on it, but he doesn't quite get by Reggie King. Reggie King having a moment there and stopping in the S's. That's gonna be a yellow flag. Let's see if we can catch what happened here. We're gonna be on board with Reggie. Dips a tire off into the grass and he keeps his foot in it. And, well, yeah, he just hoped that he wasn't going to get collected there. Unfortunately, I think that was Provolone having a little bit of a breeze by the car there. That Skoal number 111 does have to return to the garage with a tow, but is going to be back out very soon. Of course, the mechanics in ACC extremely good at what they do. Forzy, welcome. Ashley Forrester, of course. Hope you're looking forward to the upcoming leagues. No, you're going to be in a few of those. I can't wait. Oh my, Casey Schutte's off. There's oil down on the track here. Casey, just a bit too happy on the throttle. In fact, I kind of want to go back and watch this. This is... Oversteering an M2 is honestly quite the challenge. Let's see how Casey Schutte managed to do it this time. Takes a very calm apex in, gets lifted up onto the curbs, and I think he just didn't... Honestly, I don't even know how that happened. These cars, of course, do have traction control, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that was the end of the replay. As I look to see if they have any... no, I don't think they do have traction control, do they? Have to have somebody confirm that in chat for me. If these cars do or do not have traction control. By the looks of it, they might not. Current pole position, though, belongs to Ollie Raza, 155.682. Dan Brace going to be about 66 thousandths off the pace. 6/10, otherwise. Or 66 hundredths, I suppose. They do have TC. Okay, so do they have ABS as well? I'm assuming these have ABS. I think these have the full kit and caboodle when it comes to assists. But they are faster with it off. Oh, okay. Well, every car is faster with traction control off. It's a matter of if you can keep it on the track. Basically, the biggest question so far, Casey Schutte, not quite able to do so. Dan Brace here looking good after getting some heat into his tires. managing to wipe off 3/10 from that time. Ali Raza still on the top of the time charts and on an invalid lap, though. Dan Brace, we'll see if he can answer back here. It bogs down when you use TC. Makes sense. Traction control on some of these cars is just... I know the McLaren isn't a perfect example of a car where if you go anywhere above traction control 3, at least on the old one, it was basically undrivable. Wow, the understeer there for the M2. Dan Brace turning the wheel as much as he really wants to without, well, blocking the axle and just going straight on, really. Gonna be through the S's. 4th gear on the throttle, opening the wheel up nice and early there. That was a great line for Dan Brace. Gonna be cresting now at the top of the hill at Liacop. We have Wet Socks as well in chat. Welcome. Jason Provolone will be out on track tonight. Currently, 7th position. Down the mine shaft we go. Once again, 5th gear. Flat out now into the crocodiles, looking for the braking marker off to the side. It's a little tiny white mark on the pavement. That's going to be your main point of reference there as you crest the apex now. Get on the throttle. Maybe could have carried a bit more speed through there. It's so hard to do, though, with these M2s as they just, by nature, want to understeer, so you have to kind of open the corner up way earlier than you would like to. Through the final corner, though, this looks nice and tidy. On the throttle early, you can even hear the wheels spinning a little bit. And Dan Brace to the line. Is it going to be anything even? No, he actually doesn't gain on his time. That was a very clean lap, but not quite able to pull anything together just yet. Potts Weaver in the Potts Autosport number 13 here. Going to be coming to the line. Will he improve on any positions here? Jacob Cunningham, a few tenths above. No improvement there for Potts Weaver. Behind him, Jason Provolone. It ain't easy being cheesy. No, it most certainly is not. Jason Provolone, what can he manage here? Currently 2/10 up on his lap. About halfway done with it as it stands. Approaching the 3rd sector now. One of the trickiest corners on the track is this one. You can see he's rolling with 1 traction control and 0 ABS. Vice versa. 0 traction control, 1 ABS. But Jason Provolone driving the car on the edge here. 4th gear, 3rd gear. Oh, that's very understeery. That's not the line, Provolone. Is going to keep even with his delta so far. Oh, very wide, though, through the cheetahs. Attacks the outside. He keeps it valid with his foot in it somehow. Through the final corner again, lots of understeer, but turning that into oversteer, using the throttle to steer the car there. Having to correct it even on exit to the line. It will be an improvement. 2 positions gained up above Jacob Cunningham there. It will be a 157.0. And he will have an opportunity for at least 1 more lap. Potentially 2 here, Jason Provolone. Looking like he's going to put on a decent result here tonight. Potts Weaver, he needs to get a hurry up back out on the track if he wants to set a valid lap once again. The out lap here will be taking somewhere around 2 minutes. So he does have a little bit of time, but needs to get on it. We have Darren Thomas here in a very colorful livery. We'll have to take a look at that. Might as well take a look at it now, honestly. He's up on his lap. Well, we can see here, Jacob Cunningham's M2 Reverse Grid Sprint Series. Very original name there for his M2. But what a lovely livery. An unoriginal name, but not an unoriginal livery. I love the 2 T's on top of each other, too. It makes some sort of shape. What that shape is, I'm not sure, but it looks very cool. Darren Thomas to the line. Is he going to gain any positions? He gains on his lap time there by a 10th, but isn't enough to crest over Casey Schutte. They're going to be separated by 2/10 as it stands. Pole position has extended a little bit as well, and it looks like Dan Brace is going to call it an end to his qualifying. I don't think he is going to be returning out to track unless he gets out there basically now. Ali Raza will have an opportunity for another lap with Alex Afonso here creeping up behind 9/10, but don't count Afonso out whatsoever here. Or this is Alfonso, but also Casey Schutte as well. Casey currently sitting in 4th position in the tin can. is going to come to the line. 2/10 improvement. Is it enough for a position? Not quite, but he is going to be about 15 thousandths behind Alex Afonso now. Comes into the first few corners now. Going to be going on the inside curb. We saw that unsettle Casey's car earlier. He might have made a setup change, changing the rake, the suspension potentially. Able to take that curb a bit more. And once again through there, the M2 is a bit more of a road car suspension. A bit softer, I think, than your traditional GT3 car. So able to take a little bit more curbs than you would expect. Wow, that car understeering once again. Having to use third gear, it seems, is the norm through there just to get enough grip, trying to use the engine braking. One Bigley, Jacob Church, thank you. Welcome, welcome. I see you're in the pits as it stands with a 158.1 in the board. P14 will be the end there for Jacob Church. We're watching Casey Schutte, though, struggle. I think the word to put it here, through the S's. As well, gaining on, I think that's Afonso, but I could be wrong. Car's getting very out of shape. This could help us and it could hinder us. A bit of a tow coming down the hill here. Not going to need it too much as we have gravity for an advantage here. Flat out fifth gear. Now, once again, looking for that braking marker around the 100 meters there. Turning in very early, opening his wheel up there. Trying to get on the throttle, get the maximum exit speed. Maximize your minimum speed is what I'll always say. Through Cheetah now. Avoids it by quite a bit. He could have taken that a little bit tighter, but just wants to keep his lap valid. I totally understand. As this is going to be quite the lap if he can keep it together through the final corner. He keeps it valid. Casey Schutte to the line. What is it going to be? It's going to be a 156.2. Third position. It's going to be for now for Casey Schutte. Does anyone else have a response? Jason Provolone most certainly does not. He is off the track. Jacob Cunningham with a picture of his cat on the bumper. Is that going to be enough power to get him in the way? Jacob Cunningham here. A few more corners to go. Through Cheetah. Takes it quite aggressively. Getting both wheels up into the air. He doesn't lose any time on his lap, at least to his previous. Definitely cost him maybe a half a tenth, though. To the line, Jacob Church, 2/10 gain, 2 positions as well. Of course, 2/10 being the blink of an eye. So, 3 positions there within the blink of an eye. Awesome from the drivers, no doubt. We have a few more drivers still to finish their lap. Adam King here in the ST Racing number 2. Got the nice Vincent Van Gogh livery, it looks like. Whoa, and drifting through the top of the track down the mine shaft. Using that BMW like it's properly meant to be used. Of course, this is the end of qualifying. The checkered flag has fallen. 2 minutes, 54 seconds left for everybody to complete their laps, so I do not think we will be needing that amount of time. Only one more driver out on track to finish their lap, as I said that. Looks like we had an invalidation there from the 410 of John Hawley. Coming across the final corner now, Adam King, currently the bottom of the bucket. Is he going to be able to make it up? No, I don't think he is. Unfortunately, Adam King going to be on the bottom of the time chart still. Just behind Jacob Church. Very tight margins down there for P15. For P14, 15, and 16. They were all separated by less than half a tenth. That is quite the tight margins. As it stands, though, we're going to get in here, meet our drivers. We got 2 minutes to do so. 16 of them on the field. This is, of course, the M2 reverse grid. And it doesn't seem to have reversed. Chrono? Is it broken? As we wait for the admins here, we'll see. This might just be an M2 race. Did the script work? That is the question. Anyways, as it stands, we'll just do the standings as they should be for the reverse grid, I suppose. So ignore the number on the left-hand side of the screen, everybody, and just take my word for it. Starting in P1. Not P last. It's going to be the number 2 driver here, the ST Racing of Adam King. P2 is going to belong to Jacob Church in the one Bigley BMW M2. Of course, all cars out here are M2s. Professor Kenotis, third fastest, or third position, next to Reggie King, who is going to be 4th slowest on the grid. Jeff Dallas, 5th slowest, who will be in 5th position, of course. Once again, it's a reverse grid. I know it's a little confusing. John Hawley in 6th. Potts Weaver will be in 7th, next to Will Brunner taking 8th position, next to Mike Burkov, who will be in P9. Jason Provolone will be 10th position, next to Darren Thomas, who will be 6th fastest, but in P11 overall. I think I just lost count. P12 belonging to Jacob Cunningham, next to Alex Alfonso in 13th, Casey Schutte taking P14, Dan Brace in 15th, and last but not least will be Ollie Raza. But of course, Ollie Raza fastest on track, Dan Brace in P2, and Casey Schutte in 3rd. We still got plenty of funky beats to go, and not much, and plenty of time as well. We're gonna let the beats roll, of course, as we let the good times roll here at Trackalicious. And also, hope that the admins can get the situation sorted with the reverse grid. That will be the question. Taking a look at the chat, I'm not seeing much of anything. But, like I said, hopefully this works. It's a doubleheader tonight, so it's not going to be just one race. It will be two 20-minute races. It is going to look like Ollie Raza will remain on pole position. I think we're just going to be rolling with a normal race here. Casey Schutte with his windshield wipers on, too. It's a bright day, Casey. You're just wearing them out. Cars, though, going to be getting underway here to begin their 2.8-mile outlap at Kyalami. Kyalami, one of my favorite tracks, of course. One of the most fun tracks to drive as well. Got a little bit of everything. Big downhills, big elevation, and, well, big corners. As well, some very tight, twisty ones. High speed. It's got good overtaking opportunities. It's got some very bad overtaking opportunities. That's what makes it such a lovely track here. Of course, located in South Africa. Got 15 corners, 6 to the right, 9 to the left. And yeah, we are going to be rolling with a normal grid. That's just, I think so. So the positions stand. Ollie Raza, P1, Dan Brace in P2, Casey Schutte in 3rd, Alex Alfonso in 4th, Jacob Cunningham 5th, Darren Thomas in 6th, Jason Provolone in 7th, Mike Burkov 8th, Will Brenner 9th, Potts Weaver in 10th, John Hawley in 11th, Jeff Dallas in 12th, Reggie King in 13th, Professor Kenotis in 14th, Jacob Church in 15th, and Adam King bringing up the rear. He thought he was on pole. He didn't quite get it, though. Unfortunately, 16 positions away from that now. Adam King should be able to make that up. It's quite the talented field, actually. Only 16 drivers, but a lot of potential amongst it. Ollie Raza, of course, a multiple time, I think a 4-time champion at Trackalicious. 4 official champions at Trackalicious, I should say. A few more potentially on that card. Jason Provolone, 1-time champion, of course. Can't write him out. Mike Burkov, a 1-time champion. So there are some big names in here tonight. John Hawley as well, a champion in his own right. Currently in the Peanut Bimmer Racing. Brought to you by Jif. Look at that. Trackalicious Jif. Man, Trackalicious looks really good next to the Jif logo. Just saying, Jif, if you're reaching out for a sponsor. Is that creamy peanut butter? You know, I'm more of a crunchy man myself, but we can accept creamy here. That's fine. The drivers lining up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as they come to the final sector. Final few corners now they're going to be rounding. We get ready here to go green. 20 minutes on the clock. 2.8 miles in front of them for the first lap. Hopefully everyone manages to keep it clean here. as it's already quite the fight for pole position, it seems. Ali Raza taking his sweet time. Dan Brace should be behind. But as we have it, rounding the final corner now, Ali Raza on pole position. Dan Brace in P2. I'm Mike Nause in the booth as we get ready to go green here at Kyalami. We have 2.8 miles in front of us for lap 1. 20 minutes on the clock. And we are going to go at the total energy board. We're going to go green here at Kyalami, of course. Heading now into the first corner, the kink. It's going to come up extremely quick, but it's not much of a corner. The real action is going to happen, of course, into Crowthorne. It's going to be side by side all the way. It was an equal start for Dan and Ollie, though. Inside line being held for the number 30, and it looks like he is going to keep it for now. Back in the field, everybody going through 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as they started. Bit of 3-wide action from behind as that's Adam King trying to make up some ground here. Coming out in through the sweep into barbecue as we go. Ali Raza will be leading us away with Dan Brace behind. Casey Schutte getting a bit out of shape there, having a wiggle as we approach sunset with Alex Afonso firmly grasping the tail there, trying to maybe make something happen here on lap 1. Jacob Cunningham, though, is not going to be a slouch either. He's going to be trying to get involved. We see, though, Alex Afonso looking to make a move in through Clubhouse Bend. It's going to be a tough one. Clubhouse Bend, quick corner, not really a heavy braking zone to get the move done, and as well as the S's. I think that was just Alex Afonso keeping Casey honest, and Casey most certainly knew that that was not going to be a move that was on there. Mike Burkov biting at the heels here of Darren Thomas. Darren Thomas looking extremely strong here tonight. It's P6 so far, though. Mike Burkov looks like he wants to claim that position on the outside as we approach the top of the hill here at Leocolt. Still side by side as we go down the mine shaft. You can see the lovely livery of Darren Thomas versus the carbon fiber of Mike Burkov here. It's going to be the inside line as we approach the crocodiles for Mike Burkov, but Darren is going to be more ahead. Wow, there's a car steaming in from nowhere! Oh no! Who was that? Mike Burkov, and both of them get taken out. Darren Thomas and Mike Burkov both get punted off from that. Adam King is off as a result, and Will Brunner is going to be kicking himself for that one. What happened? Will Brunner just severely misjudged his braking zone, though. That is very uncharacteristic of Will, and as a result has cost not just himself some crucial positions. Has ended an amazing battle, for one, but has really cost a few other drivers as well. And I don't think he's going to be too happy with himself for that one. Adam King doesn't seem to be too happy with this one either, as he has returned to the pits already. There are no mandatory pit stops tonight, and he is going to be making one, I presume, for a retirement. Everybody else, though, carrying on. There is race 2 to look forward to, at least for those drivers. Definitely a severe misjudgment, though. Hello, Eric. I hope you caught that. He dive-bombed from Zimbabwe. Yeah, man came up there from the country directly north. Maybe out of Botswana, you never know. But yeah, he came from not just a different postal code. He came from an entirely different country. And I don't think he is going to be too thrilled to go back and watch that one. John Hawley here. He's under pressure, though. We'll just pay no mind to that at this point. It is in the past, of course. John Hawley, though, attacking Potts Weaver. That is the present. Can pop on board here as we head into, once again, the corner that we just witnessed. The Crocodiles approaching the braking zone, braking at that 100-meter board a little bit early there for John Hawley, as you can see him opening up the corner and trying to take the switchback line. He is going to do it, but making a move into Cheetah is almost suicide. Not going to happen. You can see big curbs taken there for Potts Weaver, and that is a result of the pressure that John Hawley has put on. Great driving there from John Hawley. He goes deep. Allows Potts Weaver the alternate line, but no, Potts Weaver actually just goes shallow. There's a different continent. Yeah, man came from Europe. All the way down to the Horn of Africa. Once again, that's in the past. We won't pay any mind to that, but wow. Jeff Dallas trying to make gains now onto Potts Weaver, who is seemingly slipping down the field as John Hawley not quite up to the pace Or rather, excuse me, Potts Weaver not quite up to the pace of John Hawley, slipping off the bumper there a little bit. John Hawley actually catching Jason Provolone for right now. Casey Schutte up ahead is gaining on Dan Brace. Ollie Roz has walked away with this one, no surprises. Ollie do what Ollie do. Casey gonna be pretty comfortable, I presume, behind Dan Brace. Definitely their lap times looking extremely similar. Casey maybe even trailing behind a little bit, so using him as a bit of a tow. Eventually, a little bit later in the race, going to potentially be dispatching him, I hope. We'll see. Casey maybe even on a P2, potentially even the race win on the cards here tonight if Ollie Raza slips up. That's a big if, though. Alex Afonso here, the Portuguese driver. Going to be a bit further behind than I think he would like. You can see that alternate line being taken from Casey Schutte. Right along with him for a little bit here. You can see some gravel being kicked up. That's by Ollie Raza. He is human. Still a 3.6 second gap. Dan Brace a bit deep and a bit out of shape. He's pushing that M2 maybe a bit harder than he can. Might be overdriving just slightly here. Jeff Dallas has had a yellow flag. We'll stick with this for now. Is Casey going to make the move into the first corner or second corner? No. Oh, Jeff Dallas. What has happened here? See if we can catch it. Not sure we'll be able to. Here we go. Yes, we are. Way deep into Cheetah Curb. Slams the inside wall. Big damage picked up. Does drive off to the side of the track. Sends it on the rejoin to the pit lane, but that's fair enough. He had a good window. And as coming into the pits, his car did not turn because he couldn't turn it. Car was on max turn. Just in the wrong direction. Car was messed up. Hopefully we'll see Jeff Dallas back out onto the pits, or back out onto the track though. Come out of the pits eventually here tonight. Said before, say it again, there's a race 2. It's going to be 2 20-minute races tonight. Mike Burkhoff here. He's going to be trying to overtake Professor Kronotis here in the coming laps, but that's big damage picked up on the side there. Definitely not a showroom-ready M2. Chasing the likes here of Professor Kronotis. In the I Drew It Myself Bob Ross livery. Great tribute. Mike Burkhoff not too thrilled with the view that he's getting currently, though. He wants to put the happy trees behind him. I'm not sure why he would want to do that, but hey, to each their own. Switchback attempt here for Mike Burkhoff. Outside being taken for Kronotis, maybe a little too outside. Gonna potentially pick up a track limit. Mike Burkhoff backing out as we approach Cheetah, just trying to get the better exit here onto the start-finish straight. This is gonna be everything. We're gonna have the tow. Do we have the exit? Nice and early on the throttle, trying to keep that steering input as minimal as possible to scrub the least amount off your tires. Mike, though, with a look, but that's an overly optimistic look, I think. Jeff Dallas picking up a drive-through penalty with speeding in the pits, and we have Nova Plays Games with a rating party of 6. It's a Jesus raid. Or Jesus raid, one of the two. Jesus, though, I presume? How's it going, Nova? Appreciate the raid. Hope you had a lovely stream. We're currently watching some M2 racing right now. We got 16 drivers out on track and a move being had here into the clubhouse bend just out of Sunset. The outside line being picked for Mike Burkhoff. He isn't able to do it. He follows Professor Kronotis off the track. Monkey see, monkey do in that case. Mike Burkhoff, he's not done yet. Sticking with him into the S's here. It's a Jesus raid. Got it. Okay. I had a 50-50 shot. Down the around the outside, rather, goes Mike Burkhoff. Kronotis trying to hold the inside line. He isn't able to do so. Or is he? No, he is not. Firmly ahead as we come barreling down the mine shaft. Mike Burkov able to get the overtake there. Up into P11. Dispatches Chronotis down one further. In the Bob Ross tribute livery. Gonna have to paint a better picture here for himself. You can see there, Darren Thomas working his way on to Potts Weaver. Nova, I'm doing great myself. Have some amazing racing, so how could I not be? And glad that you're doing well. I say the action is rife here tonight with Darren Thomas currently biting at the back diffuser, or, well, what little diffuser these cars have. Also, Nova, thank you for the follow as well. A game of patience it's going to be for Darren here. Trying to play chess with Potts Weaver. We'll see. Potts able to defend fairly well. And while all this has been happening, Professor Chronotis is actually trying to come back at Mike Burkov here. Maybe get an overtake done again. Or rather, regain the position that he once had. Mike going to do everything he can to avoid that situation, but a little bit wounded on the side there. That's not going to help him. What's going to happen on the second race? Is the first one not reverse grid and the second one is reverse grid? I didn't know that. I thought both were reverse grid and I thought it didn't work. Well, assuming with that question that Eric has just asked, the second race, we're going to have a reverse grid. Right, Eric? I thought it was the first race. My bad. Okay, the LOL mic. I'm assuming that means that it's race 2 that the switch happens. All right, cool. So it's reverse grid in race 2 then, and not race 1. I definitely did not think it was race 1. I was just testing you, Eric. Of course, I'm never wrong here in the booth. The guys in the truck, they always got it right here. I definitely also didn't blame Chronotis earlier for the script not working. But that's beside the point. Professor Chronotis, he's trying to work his magic right now. Not only is he a programming wizard, is he a wizard on track? That we're going to find out. I think the answer to that is going to be no this time around. Not able to catch up there. A bit too far back. These cars... Actually, what has happened to Jacob Cunningham? Has gone, looks like straight on in the second corner. Takes the curb and does in fact go straight on in the second corner, and looks like he had some sort of electronical failure or something along those lines. Some sort of failure resulting in Jacob Cunningham coming to the side of the road and stopping. Darren Thomas and Potts Weaver here. You know what else we have? Not just a M2 reverse grid in the second race. We have plenty of other races here at Trackalicious. Of course, our GT3 Championship, that's going to be upcoming with our Porsche Cup Support Series as well. And Enduro on November 11th. That's going to be fun. 6 hours at Watkins Glen. I am so excited for that one. Beyond that, we have, of course, our M2 reverse grid, which you're watching now. Next week, we'll be over at Olton Park. We have our GT4 Championship as well. That'll be our Patron Championship as well as the GT4 Rookie Series. The Rookie Series opened at all rookies alike, and the Open Championship open to the Patreon supporters as well as other supporters in the server. So big thank you to them. We have a few of them in this race tonight. In fact, a few of our Patreon supporters currently behind the wheel. I think we have Jeff Dallas, Adam King, Potts Weaver, Casey Schutte, Reggie King, Mike Burkov, Jacob Church, Darren Thomas. They are all currently behind the wheel there. But in total, we have Chris Laronde as well, Stefano Rinaldi, Jaeger Karu, and Reggie King, Randy Gross. I think I already said Jacob Church, Scott Sullivan, and Justin Beachley. And also Patty Doring. So big thank you to all of them supporting us over on Patreon. If you guys are interested in supporting us, I know those guys are some very long-term members and long-term supporters. We do have a Patreon you can find in the chat there as well. as if you are interested in joining any of the championships, you can find the SimGrid link as well. Back to the racing. We're still watching Darren Thomas trying to work his magic on Potts Weaver, and Mike Burkov has walked away from Chronotis. Chronotis must have had a little bit of a mistake, back 3.5 seconds. Mike Burkov right behind Reggie King. Is he going to be behind him for long, though? Outside line being taken here on the outside of Clubhouse Bend, heading towards the S's now. Just enough room being left there from Reggie King, and Mike Burkov does manage to keep the overspeed on the exit and get the overtake done before we even reach the beginning of the corner. Reggie in the Snake Racing. Why don't we take a look at that livery? The Skoal Bandit. Don't Prodalm Snake Racing. I apologize, I don't know what that word is. But an awesome livery here from Reggie King. The Skoal Bandit. As well as the Bandit on the rear bumper with the Cobra. Get a good view of Mike Burkov's rear bumper currently as we go on board with Reggie King. We'll see that, I'm sure, disappear off into the distance. Mike Burkov seems to have some otherworldly pace, even with that damage. 157.2 is his fastest lap compared to Ali Raza, who is on another planet, it seems, with a 155.4. The only driver into the 155s, in fact. The only driver to even come close to the 155s, I should say. 156.3 is the next best lap from Casey Schutte. You guys are interested in finding this live data as well, we have Pitwall. That's going to be at the top of the stream, or you can find it in chat as well, the Pitwall link, where you can watch a race unfold with live timing in front of your eyes. Absolutely incredible service they offer there. I know I say that every time, but it is true. Jacob Church, he's going to need some incredible service from the pit lane, as it seems. Only 3 minutes left to go, and he has had a bit of an accident. What's happened? Onto the curbs, nice and clean so far. The car just getting unsettled. That curb, or the curbs on the inside, if you don't have your setup right, it seems to just bounce the car. And Jacob Church there getting, well, exactly there, just bounced off that curb into no man's land. Darren Thomas a bit deep there at the top of the hill. Going to be able to carry some speed down the hill, though. But too far back to make anything happen into the crocodiles, no doubt. Darren here. Looking really strong, to be completely honest. 8th position, I think he's going to be very happy with that, even if he can't get the overtake on Potts Weaver. Let's hope I don't jinx him out of that. He still has 2 more laps to go, actually. As we come around the start-finish line one more time, or 2 more times, rather. 9th lap completed. Will be 11 here tonight. As well as moving on into the race 2. Once again, can't forget that. We'll have a qualifying session followed up by another race. I will say, not much has developed up at the front here. Never count Casey out, but it seems that Dan Brace just is a bit too much there for Casey Schutte. Dan's going to have to make a mistake if Casey wants to find the position here for the 2nd place. 444, Reckless, or not Reckless Racing, the Tin Can back again. Not quite where he wants to be. Darren Thomas, he's back in striking position. He smells blood in the water, no doubt, from Potts Weaver. Just isn't quite able to make anything happen there. He has to get on the brakes very early, as he's extremely close to Potts Weaver coming into the S's. That will give him a little bit of aero wash, and as a result, you can see Wash is wide. Heading now at the top of the hill. He had a look. It was only just a look. He will have 1 more lap to make the overtake happen. So at this point, just kind of calm down, get ready, and just try to set it up into the final corner. That will be Darren Thomas's only job at this point. His best chance to get this position for the rest of the race will be, of course, into Crowthorne. Trying to seize the day here a little early. Leader on the final lap. Now this is it. Coming in through the final corner now. He looks too far back. Darren Thomas, though. Can he get a good enough exit? I don't think he can. I think he is too far back. And once again here, you can see the M2 is such a momentum-based car. It is not great at getting up to speed. Not like the GT3s, that's for sure. We head to the braking zone there. He is a little bit later on the brakes than Potts Weaver. But Potts, though, is able to defend. I think that might be it there for Darren Thomas. That was his best chance. He's going to have to make something out of nothing now, assuming Potts Weaver doesn't make a mistake. That can always happen. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. So don't count that out. Darren Thomas, though, he's going to need a miracle right now. Inside line being taken through Sunset. Wide went Potts Weaver, but it's just so hard to get these M2s into a spot where you're side by side and able to send it. These cars are not great at acceleration compared to the GT3, of course. Not great at acceleration, not great at braking, and not great at top speed. They're just, well, road cars, basically. They're slower cars. So these drivers, much more used to the quicker get up and go. These are more like a go-kart. You got to carry your speed through the corners and maximize the minimum speed through every single one of them, which is so hard to do. As you can see, they struggle to do so. They're so heavy and have no downforce. That's what makes them a good time to drive, though. These really do show the true testament and skill of the driver, and Ali Raza being the most skilled here tonight, at least in race 1. Does come across the line in P1 by a good margin, 7 seconds over Dan Brace. Casey Schutte going to finish right behind him in about a second behind with P3 as the result. Alex Afonso will be in P4. Jason Provolone to the line for 5th. John Hawley in 6th. Potts Weaver coming across in 7th with Darren Thomas, who had a chance. Not able to capitalize, though. Darren Thomas just gets P8 there. Mike Burkov in P9. Reggie King in P10. Professor Kanotis in 11th. Will Brunner does manage to scrape home a P12 there. Jacob Church, a bit out of shape, and after an incident with the wall, it seems, got a little bit more to the line. A few more drivers here. We're going to be seeing Cunningham, who's actually at the top of the hill, so we still got a little bit to go. And yes, we are going to have... Oh, wait, so we don't have a qualifying then, Eric. Is that what happens? That would make sense if we didn't have a qualifying for this race. I'm putting 2 and 2 together now. We're doing math here in the booth live, everybody. This is getting a bit scary. So we will see a reverse grid of the first qualifying. So Ali Raza starting at the back, Dan Brace in P second to last. And starting in the front of the grid is going to be Jacob Church, right? P15. No, Adam King, followed up by Jacob Church. I think. Assuming everything works. The moment of truth, everybody. We get ready to change sessions here. Ollie with a dominant victory in race 1. He's going to have to work his way through the entire field in race 2 to make that happen. Awesome, and Eric is going to be joining me in a sec to clarify everything. I thought I had an understanding of this series, and I clearly don't.
Green light, show them what you got.
We are in a free practice session. Just giving the drivers a minute of cooldown. A 10-minute free practice session. Holy smokes. All right. How's it going, chat? We don't got too many in here tonight, at least. We got a few viewers out there, but not too much in chat in terms of action going on here. We're going to be waiting a little. We can take a look at some liveries while we wait. That's always a great idea. Start at the front of the grid here. The Puma Motorsports BMW. A nice Trackalicious logo on it. That's going to be the 999 of Alex Afonso. 613 there of Darren Thomas. Awesome graffiti-esque livery. I wouldn't call it graffiti, though. Whoa. as my camera has been taken away from me. Did we disconnect? We've disconnected. Okay. That's not great, I would imagine. Eric, are you coming to? We're waiting there. We'll head back to the booth. Why don't we do that? That sounds like a great idea. Let's head back to the booth. Welcome back, everybody. We're here in the booth. Give you something to look at. Better than a track, maybe. Some would argue. Some would argue otherwise. But we are going to be waiting here to see the M2 reverse grid. We might have to see it be done manually here. Professor Kenotis working overtime, as always, to get these races brought to you in a as speedy of a fashion as we can manage, of course. So, waiting on that. My tie isn't that visible. There we go. A bit more visible of a tie. Sit up straighter. Hello, Mother. We have my mother in chat as well, as we buy time. Just kind of waiting here for the sessions to change. But that was a great drive, I got to say, from Ollie Raza, as he managed to dominate through and through, pretty much from start to finish, and able to take the win at the end by a 7-second margin over Dan Brace, which is, once again, he is no slouch in terms of driving. Looks like the server might be back up.
Green light, show them what you got.
Jacob Cunningham in P1. Look at that. Darren Thomas in P2. Ollie Raza in P3. Okay. Things are broken. We might be doing this manually. We'll see. As we get into the game here, you can hear the cars starting up. Might see a little bit of action out on track potentially. We'll get more into the livery inspection, though. We'll pop back in game as we now have some visuals. You can see here, that is Jacob Cunningham's car with his cat, who he has told me the name of, but I have forgotten the name, unfortunately. That is his cat, I have been told. Cunningham, if you're in chat, please enlighten us. You can see the cars racing down onto the track. Kenotis is out on track, which is a good sign. It means that things probably worked. So we see some cars heading out on the track. This is a free practice session. Ollie Raza. We have Jason Provolone, the fan favorite, I would say, in the M2 here. Yes, okay. A few more cars. The Casey Shooty's Tin Can running by us. The number 13 here. This is going to be, of course, Potts Weaver. Got cars coming by us out on the track. They're eager to get the laps in. Kyalami, super fun track to drive, so I don't blame him. As it seems, Will Brunner now in P15. Mike Burkov in P14. Yeah, oh, okay. We're out on track, everybody. Forgot that I was attached on the camera. Oh no, and Beachley has been working on his liveries for Monday, and there may, or may not, be a cat involved. You never know. You never know. Oh, cats, excuse me. There may or may not be, it's plural. Not just a singular cat, multiple cats being involved in this livery. Of course, no cats were harmed in the making of the livery. You can see that suspension of the BMW is bouncy. It rides through the mine shaft. Almost looks like it's driving on a rally course, to be honest, with how much the suspension is giving. That explains those bumps and why it just throws people, too. Very soft setup. Or rather, the car is at least just very soft by default. Take a look at John Hawley, see if he's suffering from the same sort of deal here. As he comes through the corner, I will say his car looks slightly more planted, but it's really hard to tell. I think it's still equally as shaky. Lizzie loves the livery. The cat livery, I presume. Or the Darren Thomas livery. Or the John Hawley livery, to be fair. The Jif peanut butter livery. I gotta admit, I'm gonna have me a spoonful of peanut butter after the stream. Thank you, John Hawley. I do not like the color of the rims, but I understand the need for them. But I also don't like them. But that's okay. John Hawley, absolute legend in the community. Also one of our Patreon supporters, so thank you so much, John. And the Peanut Bimmer. Both. Awesome. Yeah, Jacob Cunningham here. We'll get a little close-up on his cat. Why not? As his cat looks very thrilled in this photo.
Mr. Nause.
Oh my goodness, Eric is very loud. Okay. Yes. Hello, Eric.
Let me quiet myself.
No. I got you. It's all good. Oh, maybe you should. You're already turned down quite a bit. Yeah.
Is this better?
It's a bit better.
Is this better?
Yes. Welcome,
Okay,
Alex
how's that?
Carnos in chat. That's much better.
Well, I've come to inform you about all of the things.
I think I've been informed just by nature now, but why don't you go ahead and give us a brief rundown just for everybody that is confused, that I have confused. Also, before
So
we
the
get into
M2
that, thank you.
reverse grid.
I was gonna say one thing. Alex, thank you very much for the follow as well. Alex Carnos, much appreciated.
Hi, Alex. M2 Reverse Grid Championship is going to be a qualifier with a correct grid to begin with, and then the second race is the race that's going to be auto flipped. So Chrono does his magical programmy things, presses a button, and then it reverses everyone. Everyone gets to go out for a quick little whoop whoop practice, and then you get a reverse grid race. Now, what we are doing that's not perfectly represented in the calendar is we're going to split the championship. We're going to do a double 4 and 4 and see how the first 4 races go. And, you know, if people aren't feeling it, then we might switch the second half into something else. But yeah, we're going to take it from an 8 race championship to a 4 race championship, or a 4, I should say, double header, right?
Sure,
Not
sure.
Yeah.
A 4 series championship.
Yeah. A 4 night, 4 week. Yeah.
But,
yeah. Well, some cool racing I saw earlier.
Yeah, it's been a very, I think it's just the drivers trying to get grips with this car. It's a tough car to drive, Eric. I know you drive a bit more than me and can probably attest to that. We do have a full onboard lap. We'll get to that. Not in the free practice, of course. We'll get to that a little bit later in the race. P9, that's going to be Potts Weaver as it stands. Is the grid reversed fully?
It will be, yeah,
it will
fully
be, but
reversed.
it's not right now, though.
Well, this is just a practice session, right? So once the race goes on, there will be no quali. It'll automatically grid them to the reverse order.
Okay, so they shouldn't be in correct position right now. Got it.
Right.
I was
And
just confirming that.
we hope to see that all the drivers are sensible and understanding that they will be overtaking people of lesser experience than them ahead. So they're going to be cautious, they're going to be careful, and they're going to be calculated in how they overtake people, right? Obviously, that's how it always happens.
This is Eric foreshadowing a massive catastrophe, of course. But let's hope not. We will, of course, hope these drivers have a sensible head on their shoulders and can, I'm sure they can. We have quite a few. The thing that I'm noticing, especially in this league, is we have a lot of very experienced drivers in this league. Eric's silence is concerning. Has he left?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry. As usual, I'm multitasking. Experienced drivers. Yeah, I mean, come on. Look half the grid's like some crazy fast people. And the other half of the grid is some crazy fast people. Or some fast people. Crazy fast and fast people. You and I are not on the grid, so the slow guys are out.
I tend to keep myself as far away from the grid as possible, and the drivers will probably like that more.
I will have you folks in chat know that while Mike Nause gives the I'm not faster, blah, 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 in his heyday, which I'm sure he would be able to get to pretty freaking quickly, Mike Nause was a top 10 driver.
Well, thank you. I was. keyword on that was. I haven't driven that much lately, but yeah, I'm sure I could get there, but you know, commentary.
All of this commentary prowess comes with experience, folks.
I may or may not have driven a lap or two around a few tracks. That is a true statement.
He's performed a couple of lefts, a couple of rights in his day.
Back in my day, you know, I'm very old, so very relevant. We are going to be heading towards the race, though, here soon.
We used to drive uphill both ways.
Oh my
in
goodness.
First gear.
Jacob
with
Cunningham.
old tires.
My goodness, Jacob Cunningham there just putting an end to his free practice session in a spectacular manner. We don't incentivize that, by the way, just so people know. But, hey. Oh my goodness. I just hear tires screeching in the background. All right, here we go. Has it worked? No.
Hold on. Let him grid up. Yeah, it's worked. Ross is in the back. What are you talking about?
What is Adam King doing up here? Oh, Adam King qualified in the back. That's right. Adam King is not a back pace driver. Come on, Adam. Maybe a little bit of Sandberg in there, but hey. No, it did work. Dan Brace is in P2 Casey. Yes, okay. We do have a fully reverse grid. Great job, Chronotis. Big round of applause to Professor Chronotis, everybody.
Professor Chronotis, who is not a programmer doing all these programmy things.
Absolutely.
Just a wizard. I think we should call him Wizard Chronotis.
He is... A wizard is an understatement, to be honest. I would say grand wizard.
Oh. That one kind of sounds weird. Not gonna lie.
You know, that's all right. Why don't we get in and meet our drivers? Because that's going to be a good segue. Also, Adam, thank you. I'm not sure if that was I meant it nicely, but I don't know if that came across as rude. But starting in P1, not first fastest, but actually last fastest in the qualifying. First position, though, on track. Of course, the reverse grid. It's going to be not that song. Jacob Cunningham, starting in P1, the number 27 M2 with his cat represented fully. Adam King in the Van Gogh livery in P2, the ST Racing BMW number 2. Of course, they're all BMWs. I should probably stop saying that. Jeff Dallas in P3, the number 21 in the Precision Motorsports. Can be lined up there, third position overall. Jacob Church, fourth in the one bigly, the 253, next to Will Brunner, who's going to be taking up that fifth grid slot. Row 3 here, going to be brought to a close by Professor Chronotis, of course, the absolute legend, and Reggie King in P7. Mike Burkov going to be rounding out row 4 in the number 74 BMW next to Darren Thomas in P9. Potts Weaver will be 10th position next to John Hawley, who will be in P11. Professor Chronotis will be 12th overall. Wait, Jason Provolone, excuse me, I looked at the wrong name. Jason Provolone will be at 12th overall next to Alex Afonso in P13, the number 999, the Portuguese driver in the Intercontinental Racing there. Casey Schutte in the Tin Can, he is going to be starting in P14, of course, third fastest in the qualifying. Dan Brace, second fastest in qualifying, going to be second to last on the grid. And bringing up the back, I don't think I've ever said this before in my life, nor do I think I will beyond this series, Ollie Raza in P last, the number 30 car. P16 for the Raza Motorsports. I don't see that standing for long.
Raza Motorsports. I feel like there's an opportunity lost to call it Raza Racing. Come on, Ali.
That's
alliteration.
Because we still have plenty of funky beats to go. The song is not even close to being done. We're going to see these drivers get underway here for their 2.8 mile out lap. Of course, Kyalami. Lots of lefts, lots of rights. 9 to the left, 6 to the right, 15 corners overall with 25 meters of elevation. Not the highest elevation on the calendar. Of course, Spa being up there as well as Coda and a few others. But Kyalami definitely down the mine shaft. All of that elevation comes at one time, so it feels like quite a bit. As we now are done with the song. Lovely. Okay, and Adam King, he got me. Lovely. So, Forzy, do you still want that redemption on P9, who is now P10? Is that going to be, is it still a Potts Weaver request, or is it a Darren Thomas request? Also, Wet Sox absolutely pumped to see Jason Provolone down in P12. We're going to see some overtakes from him in the It Ain't Easy Being Cheesy. He's got a GIF, though, to get by. And that's going to be quite the challenge there, Eric.
So, controversial question for chat. Animated pictures that you see on the internet, GIF or GIF?
That's not controversial, Eric.
I think it is.
I don't think it's GIF. If anyone who says otherwise is wrong in my opinion.
I'm telling you, there are some GIFers out there.
No, in this case it is GIF, but only this case. That is how you spell GIF, everybody. In fact, we can get it even more clear here. Bam. Blank. You can see GIF. Look, okay, I think we have a fight in chat, and I think it's Jace right.
I'm telling you, the Joystick King.
And Wet Sox
coming in with the controversy.
Even Wet Sox agreeing. GIF is peanut butter. A GIF is an animated image.
I, as an older person, I don't disagree. But there are animated image GIFers out there for sure.
I guess it's Jace right, yeah. The controller king. Not only is he abnormal in his choice of what he drives with in game, he is abnormal in how he says the word GIF.
Yeah, there are those out there. Definitely.
Irrelevant of the GIF, GIF, any word that you use for an animated image. We're going to be coming to the final corner now of Race 2 for the outlap as we get ready to go green here. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Eric is in here for now. I'm not sure if he's joining me forever. Jacob Cunningham on pole position with Adam King in P2. The number 2 car going to be trying to take it to him. This is the reverse grid, so we're going to be seeing a lot of position changes as we head to the board, and we go green for Race 2. Heading down to the first corner now. It's going to be an incredible start for Adam King. He's going to immediately take the lead behind. We see Jeff Dallas creeping up in the light there of Jacob. What's going to happen? We all concertina up. Everybody coming in now to the second corner. 3 wide, 4 wide, just about. The GIF car, he is in a sandwich right now. Very fitting. Jason Provolone on the outside. Though John Hawley does manage to sneak ahead as we head into sunset now. It's going to be a big concertina effect as everybody managing to make their way through. 3 wide again we go. Mike Burkov going to be on the outside there as well. Professor Kronotis on the right. The Squall, though, is going to keep the advantage. That's Reggie King, or is he? Kronotis is going to keep washing wide the understeer there. He needs to be very careful. He does get it under control. Some bumping and banging, though. Kronotis definitely left enough room as we head into the clubhouse bend now through, heading towards the S's. Going to try to make it 3 wide again is Mike Burkov, but he thinks better of it. Side by side through the S's. This is a tricky corner complex to go side by side through. The 111 is going to have the disadvantage, but Mike Burkov from downtown has stolen 2 positions in 1 corner, and so is the number 13 there. Potts Weaver trying to get involved with this action. He's going to take 1 of the positions, but Mike Burkov, wow. Eric, what a lap 1 it's been.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about Constantina effects. Not only are these people Constantinaing during braking, but the inverse skill level that we have on the track. The faster guys in the back, the slower guys in the front. That's where you're going to see a little bit more Constantinaing than you usually do. You can see those back drivers really pushing up against some of these mid-experienced people, and that grid still really, really tight. Everybody trying to force their way through with that blockade that you have up front on this train.
Yeah, as we go through, Ollie Raza hasn't made much progress. Some bumping and banging there. That was Darren Thomas getting sent a bit wide onto the final, or on through the final corner onto the start-finish straight. Now Darren Thomas side by side with the GIF. John Hawley going to be on the outside. As we go through the first corner, like I say, nice and flat out. The corner barely even a corner. This is going to be where the meat and potatoes comes in as we head into Crowthorne. Nice, though, on the brakes for Darren Thomas. John Hawley not able to capitalize. Ollie Raz has made up a few positions since I saw it last. He made a position up on Alex Afonso. Jason Provolone actually at the bottom of the grid somehow. Adam King is plummeting as well. What has happened here? He's currently rejoined in a fairly decent spot, but he's getting swamped by cars behind. That's Dan Brace, who's made up a lot of ground, especially compared to Ollie Raza. Dan Brace actually starting only one position ahead of him. Oh, very tight, though, as we come through Sunset. Almost contact, but I don't think any was made. There was some contact. Adam King sending a car way wide there. That was Reggie King, I think, getting sent wide. Rejoining the track as safe as he can. Coming up into the S's now. Darren Thomas, or Dan Brace, excuse me. Gonna have to just wait. Oh, John Hawley. Careful.
Bumping and banging for sure throughout the grid here. But you know, it's been pretty impressive. What are we, a lap and a half in, and there haven't been any major incidents. So credit to these guys managing the skill difference in an unusual situation. I mean, everybody asks for reverse grid, but not a lot of people have experience in it. So good job, everybody, keeping it pretty decent so far. Keep on battling. Let's see what you guys are able to do.
And if anyone wants a part of this extremely exciting action, you can find the link in chat. That is, of course, over to our sim grid where you can find this and many other leagues offered. Off the track, there goes Dan Brace, though. He's going to rejoin in an absolute chaos situation. Ollie Raza going for an on-the-grass pass there around the outside of Cheetah. Constantini, he gets bumped by the tin can, and that actually hits Darren Thomas. Darren Thomas put into a terrible spot. He gets basically shoved right into the wall. Head first, not able to do anything about it, became a passenger in that situation. Potts Weaver here into the first corner is going to be attacking Professor Chronotis. That is Jacob Church ahead. Also Jacob Cunningham keeping the lead of this race with Will Brunner right behind. Definitely something to be said. Will Brunner on a much better race this time around than his last one.
Yeah, you know, again, I'm still thoroughly impressed at that pack that we have in the back. These guys are still keeping it super clean. It's kind of cool to see something that we don't see a lot of, which is Ali Raza having to battle his way through the pack. We all know he's got incredible speed, but really haven't been able to see much of his battling and much of his racecraft considering his pace. So really cool to see him trying to push the limits, not only by himself, but with all these other cars around and manage the situation around him.
As we pop on board with Ollie, you can see the alternate line he's choosing there to try to get around Adam King. He's going to go for it at the top of the hill here. Is Adam King going to fight it? No, he gets onto the brakes a little early. He does actually try to keep it, and oh, he's just keeping his speed up. I think he sees the writing on the wall there and didn't fight that too hard. Or Ollie Raza is just that quick and made it look that easy. One of the two.
Now, I think the main thing we got to focus on is what is Dan's ability to keep or gain positions while keeping Ollie behind, right? Like that's the key. This competition between Ollie and Dan, and to see if Dan's able to achieve more positions than Ollie is, which effectively puts him ahead in the championship.
Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right. Of course, it'd be tied if they. Well, yeah, it's complicated right now. But
well, no, the thing is, if they do a 1-2-2-1, right, then they're tied. But if Dan Brace is able to get one more position than Ollie does, then effectively he's leading the championship over the weekend, right? So what he wants to do is not only, really, he wants to be as far up as possible. Probably, I mean, ideally first, right? But have Ollie be like third or lower.
We are seeing these drivers struggle a little bit here. Whoa, speaking of, Jeff Dallas. He's facing the wrong way. I think that was self-inflicted, unfortunately.
Can't park there, mate.
That's Ollie Raza and that was Ollie Raza and Professor Chronotis. So we saw a little bit of side-by-side action as well from John Hawley and Adam King, and Provolone getting involved as well. Provolone going to be trying to come back up through the field after something happening to him. Off track at some point, resulting in him plummeting into the back. Ollie Raza has dispatched there Professor Chronotis through the S's, of course. One of the most hard corners to overtake on and try to set it up. Ollie Raza makes it look easy. Though I think Chronotis as well. Not fighting that too hard. Definitely knowing who he's racing. It's a big part of it. You don't want to overdrive your car when you know that Ollie Raza is a second and a half faster than you. And that's nothing against the person. That's nothing against Chrono. That's just Ollie. He's ridiculously quick. And we saw that in qualifying. Saw it in the race even. Jason Provolone biting at the heels here of Adam King. Adam had a really solid start, but he had a big incident early on. Ollie Raza's off!
Oh no!
And
What
big
happened?
damage. This looks self-inflicted. I think he might have took cheetah curb a little bit too aggressively. Has he tried to take a bite out of the cheetah curb? Yes, he most certainly has, and the cheetah curb took a bite out of him instead.
No, so this is where things start getting interesting. Oh, and a return to pits.
It's such an easy mistake to make for Ollie Raza there. It's a tough corner.
You know, I don't even remember the last time Ollie made a mistake that big. We praise Ollie. Still, credit, he is one of the fastest guys out there, but there are a couple of guys faster than him, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody more consistent than him, barring this one particular occasion. He is an incredibly consistent driver. So yeah, really surprising to see him make a mistake like that.
And consistently, not in just GT3s as well, because I know you got some drivers, they're very consistent in GT3s, they've never touched GT4s. Ollie Raza can drive a GT4 like nobody else really out there. He is extremely quick, and as Eric said, makes very little mistakes, but tonight has made a big one, and that's going to cost him big points in the championship. Dan Brace is going to be smiling. Nice move from Alex Afonso.
Yeah, Ali drives GT3s consistently, GT4s consistently, Porsche Cups consistently, M2s consistently. Ali walks, talks, runs consistently. Everything Ali does is at a very, very, very comfortable pace.
Maybe not talks consistently.
Oh, Ali talks very consistently.
Okay, fair enough. Just when he gets on stream, he's just a quiet as a church mouse, but fair enough. Casey Schutte, the tin can back again. I know we had the question in chat from Wet Sox earlier. Is it aluminum or aluminium? And the answer is it depends on how it's spelled. But,
you know, I grew up saying aluminium, and then I've had to convert to aluminum, as well as saying nuclear and nuclear. That one's a tough one.
You don't want nuclear energy? I can't even say it.
No, I do not want nuclear energy.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think I do either. Jason Provolone getting run out of track there a little bit. I think Casey left enough room on the track, Darren. Is that Adam? That's Adam. Adam King. Left enough room there for Jason, but maybe a little bit tight. It's going to be tight margins here between Casey and Provolone now as we head into sunset. Quick left-hander, going to go down a gear. We're going to go side-by-side fully. Barely enough space to fit a credit card between the two. Still, I don't think they made contact. Into the clubhouse bend. Nice and tidy. Outside line being picked. Bit of oversteer, though. That's going to cost Provolone right there, and I think Casey Schutte should have that overtake pretty much sent, sealed, and delivered.
You know what, Mike Nause? You know what makes me happy?
What makes you happy, Eric?
The fact that these are not the newest M2s. I just saw one on the street the other day, and it is
it's round.
Horrendous looking.
It's very round looking, the newer M2s.
Well, the fronts look all they got these like crazy boxy intakes that look ridiculous. Oh my god, I'm gonna let you get back to that racing over there.
Yes, very tight battles as well. Very tight at the top, actually. We have the challenge for the lead as we have Will Brunner and Jacob Cunningham going side by side out of the final corner, actually. This is going to be Will Brunner currently ahead, and Jacob was ahead at the start of last lap. We may have a new leader here. Inside line, going to be picked for the second corner for Will Brunner. Of course, first corner not really a corner. Jacob Cunningham going to have to go extremely late on the brakes, but needs to be careful. Mike Burkov is going to be there to capitalize on any mistake. We saw it earlier. Mike Burkov is an absolute master at taking 2 positions in one corner here. So he's just going to sit and wait and allow these two to squabble as much as they want. And he's going to come in and just swoop in and save the day and take the race win. That's my prediction, at least, Eric, but we'll see.
Yeah, Burkhoff, unbelievable racecraft from him. Finally got his Trackalicious championship after many seasons of trying. Always going for a move here. Really clean move over there. Just the right spot. Enough overlap for him. Gonna force Cunningham on the outside. Is he he's falling back a little bit? Yeah, decides to back off. That's the lovely thing about Burkhoff is he's usually very intelligent about picking his overtaking positions, making sure that he has the correct amount of overlap as he's trying to earn here, forcing Cunningham tight on the inside. I'm sure going to try to get the run down the mine shaft over here, try to exceed performance in the braking point.
He's going to get a little impatient here, but Mike Burkov, as you said, he's a very patient driver, and he keeps getting that overlap that you're talking about. Of course, the wheel arch to the front mirror, but he isn't able to get the overtake. Switchback attempt here through the Crocodiles. This should be it. He's going to have the inside line as we approach now through the Cheetah. And Mike, it's one of them's going to have to back out. Oh, Mike hits Cheetah, and that actually, wow, neither of them backed out, but Mike making a little bit of an error. Luckily, nobody coming together there. That is such an easy spot to have a massive incident with 2 cars going side by side. Both drivers, though, giving each other enough respect and enough space, and Mike very smartly backing out of that before he got to the point of no return, really.
You know, kudos to Cunningham, having started last place. Keeping Burkhoff behind for even half a lap is not a small feat. So doing a really good job, really smart driving. Like you said, both giving each other a really good amount of respect and room. Credit to Cunningham. Great job so far.
Mike, I'm not sure where he finished in the first race offhand. I think he finished in the top 10. But he's looking to make it a P1 this time. We just missed it, unfortunately. Casey Schuttes had a spin and has dropped down to P13. There's a big battle going on, actually, right here between Adam King and Alex Afonso, as well. Provolone getting in there a little bit. John Hawley side by side. There's battles absolutely everywhere. You take your eyes off of any of this action, and you blink and you miss it, basically. Mike Burkov currently chilling about half a second behind Jacob Cunningham. We'll tune back in with that a little bit later here. But we'll keep an eye on John Hawley and Chronotis. As Chronotis, he is pushing the wheels off that M2, Eric.
Yeah, I think the only thing this race is missing is about 34 more cars. Otherwise, the racing is phenomenal. I can't imagine what it would look like if we had a little bit more fatter grid. But yeah, these guys going really hard at it. And that, you know, for what the M2s lack in pace and let's call it excitement, they make up for in raceability. Really fun watching these cars go side by side through most of the track, given their small stature and the size that Kyalami offers. Really fun to see them go wheel to wheel racing.
As John Wright would say. John Hawley here is firmly ahead of Chronotis. Managed to get it done, but he clobbers the Cheetah curb, and all of his hard work is immediately undone. Gonna have to try that one again. Mike Burkov, he's trying again as well. This is going to be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. Into the second corner, inside line held, fully alongside. Is he going to get the car stopped in time? Yes, he is. Looks like, though, Jacob Cunningham, he kept it on the brakes in time. Wow, Jacob Cunningham is having a defensive masterclass. Mike Burkov, we've said it before, he is such a clinical and textbook overtaker that he has not been able to do this just yet. It's a real testament to Jacob Cunningham's defensive ability. As well, Will Brunner hasn't walked away. I think Will Brunner has been enjoying this battle too much in his rearview mirror. He needs to get his head down and push on, because he's going to have a gray BMW in his rear wing mirror here relatively soon, or a pink one in his rear bumper if he's not careful. My goodness, this is tight racing here.
Yeah, Brunner coming into the equation is not a good thing for Cunningham. He was doing a pretty good job keeping Burkhoff behind, but if Brunner's holding him up, it's going to be bad days for Cunningham here. I don't know. This is looking pretty sketchy with the three of them taking all the room in such little space. It's exciting though.
And Will Brunner, he's got to be sweating right now. We also got Doc Nailbender. Doc, welcome in chat. Appreciate you being here. Jacob Cunningham here has the inside line onto Will Brunner. Will Brunner caught sleeping at the wheel, or did Jacob Cunningham go in a little bit too deep? Trying to do his best Sum 41 impression, but not quite able to hit that note. Yes, he actually does. Is going to get that position taken back, but Mike Burkov now into the final or penultimate corner. No, final corner we go. Is going to try to get that run, forcing to the outside there Jacob Cunningham, but all the drivers having to go nip and tuck back down the straight again. Slipstream for Mike Burkov is going to be the most advantageous here. Jacob Cunningham, though, getting a nice toe as well. And with all of this squabbling, who is that approaching in the rear mirror? That is the driver that started in P, second to last, Eric.
Look who's sneaking in the back. It's Dan Brace. He's coming. This is about to get really exciting. We were first talking about 2 challenging each other. Then it was 3 challenging each other. Now there's about to be a 4th coming into the equation. Cunningham doing a fantastic job taking the lead in the race. If Cunningham manages to win this race, I'm giving him a standing ovation. You might not be able to see it, but I will be giving him a standing ovation. This is a fantastic drive. Amazing several laps from Cunningham. Now he has a bit of what'd you call it, a little challenge between the drivers behind him, allowing him to build a little bit of gap. And I'm sure Dan Brace is going to give these guys a bit of a challenge as well. So good spot for Cunningham to be in. Just keep it clean. Keep doing what you're doing. Build yourself that gap, Cunningham. Let's go.
Bit of rubbing there from Mike Burkov and Will Brunner. Nothing, though, these cars can't handle. Just a brief trading of paint. These cars, of course, a bit more durable than your GT3 car, but that's not to say we want to see contact. That is Dan Brace. He's trying to clean up here. Dan Brace down the inside. Not going to happen on the mine shaft, but we'll see. He's going to probably make quick work of that. Who is that behind him? That's Potts Weaver. Mike Burkov, though, currently sitting in second position. He's trying to challenge his rival back. That's Jacob Cunningham. He wasn't able to get the overtake for P2. Can he get the overtake for P1? There's a bit more on the line here now. And we're coming down to the final lap here. Way too much curb taken for Jacob Cunningham, but he keeps it on the track. That was a great save. Jacob could have almost lost it all right there.
Ooh, big mistake for him. He had built himself a little bit of a gap as he has one more lap to go. Burkov right on his bumper, trying to get as much of an aero advantage in these non-aero cars as possible. Is he going to have the overlap he needs going into T1? Looks like he's in a pretty decent position, but we've seen Cunningham defend this position before. Burkov going in really deep, oh yeah, kind of see that coming. I'm not sure if there was anyone at fault, but that's unfortunate for Cunningham. Still a fantastic job so far. I think if he's able to manage that P2 position, still a fantastic performance from him. Great several laps, but Brace is pretty eager behind there.
Brace is ready to race as he's having a look onto the inside of Will Brunner, excuse me, as we go through Sunset here. Potts Weaver trying to be the opportunist, and he's looking to actually make it 3 wide. Maybe let's not do that here on Sunset. Wow, very bumping and banging from everybody. Dan Brace is just like, let me through, please. I just want by. And he is going to get that done, it seems. Big contact as well there from Will Brunner onto the rear end there of the 46. Can the 46 keep it under shape? He can. And a lift.
Who comes through?
That is, of course, because Potts Weaver there has a nice job coming through. And Dan Brace? No, Potts Weaver. Who is that?
Weaver. It's Weaver. Weaver taking advantage of Brace.
No, it's not. That's a back marker. Wait,
no.
That's not.
Oh, it's Ali Raza.
That's Ali Raza's a back marker?
Ali Raza, the back marker. Now we've said everything.
Holy smokes, what is this race? This is one of the craziest I've seen in a long time. Dan Brace is wide. He's been unlapped by Ali Raza. That's what happened here. On to the final lap we go. Mike Burkov, who took the position from Jacob Cunningham, some would argue aggressively, some might not. It depends. I definitely need a second look on that. Our camera angle we had was terrible. Cross the line, though. It's going to be the win for Mike Burkov, the most recent Trackalicious champion, showing his stride here and taking the win on the reverse race. Jacob Cunningham coming across the line in P2 with Dan Brace. An excellent, a superb drive. 12 positions gained for Dan Brace and a P3 result, with Will Brunner behind in 4th. Potts Weaver going to be bringing up 5th position. John Hawley, it is done for them. 6th position for John Hawley. Jason Provolone in 7th. Alex Afonso in 8th, with Chronotis in 9th. And Adam King rounding out our top 10 here tonight.
You know, I'm not going to give Jacob a standing ovation, but I'll definitely give him a sitting ovation. That was pretty freaking fantastic. Great defending, great driving, great racecraft. I don't think, this has put Jacob Cunningham on the map for me for sure. And Dan Brace coming in. And let's not forget to mention backmarker Ali Raza in this race. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely insane to see. And if we could get our top 3, Mike Burkov, Jacob Cunningham, and Dan Brace, into the green room, that would be excellent. You guys are here. Provolone in chat, great race as well, with a P7 finish, starting down in P14 or something along those, like P13. Can't remember exactly where you started there, Provolone, but having a good result nonetheless, with your supporters in chat too, of course. So showing off in front of the crowd, you love to see it. And Wet Sox there avidly showing his love, of course. We get ready here. We're going to head back to the booth. Welcome back, everybody, as we are here back in the booth and waiting for the drivers to head on down. We got the race replay up in the background, of course. And great racing today, I would say, Wet Sox. Not just good, but great. And I see we have everybody of our race winners chatting, but not joining the room. We'll see. Of course, it's all optional if they want to join. If not, we will grab Mike Burkov very rudely because I know Mike and I can do that. But here we go. We're going to have our interview with Mike Burkov now. Mike Burkov, are you there? Welcome, and congratulations, brother. You took the race win tonight, and what a drive it was.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. I didn't expect it to be so much fun in this car.
Dude,
But I guess that's because you can race so close. Like, it's okay if you tap somebody. You know, not that it's recommended, but it's like the stakes are lower. You know, like, so it makes it fun.
Yeah, we actually were just talking about that, interestingly. But, dude, what some passes you had some stellar passes. I gotta say, we watched that double overtake that you had. That was just pure gold. I mean, you pulled that seemingly out of nowhere, but managing to make it happen like you had set that up. I mean, calculated it through your graphing calculator and plotted every single line, basically.
I had confidence. You mean through the S's there. For some reason, I was quicker than most in the S's specifically. So, yeah, that worked out. That worked out well. And then Mr. Cunningham, man, he put up, I just could right on him for so long. Good stuff.
Yeah, you could not get by him for the life of you, it seemed,
No.
but one mistake led to another, and that kind of got you that position. But what a drive, Mike.
It all kind of like I got lucky in this fact that I guess the other guy out front, Brunner, I think it was, like once he came to us, it all kind of got messy enough for me to get by.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was reading chat there for a second.
Yeah, no worries.
We also, it seems like, have who we thought would be in the room with us today, but actually technically shouldn't be in the room with us, but is. Eric, why don't you take this one over? Is Eric even here? Maybe Eric's not here.
Okay. Here, but not paying attention. Sorry.
Do you want to interview Ollie while I do other things?
Mr. Raza, Mr. Backmarker. What was going on in that second race? You did a fantastic job in the first race. Congratulations. Nothing less expected from you, but let's talk about the more exciting second race for you. How did that go for you, sir?
It was a lot of fun, like, because everyone's so closely packed. So, like, I was trying not to be too aggressive, but at the same time go for moves. But I got up to, like, I don't know, like 6th or 7th, and then the cheetah they don't like the M2s, you know. So I went over the cheetah, and the suspension just decided not to react for me and hit the wall.
So what you're saying is you hit the cheetah curb and the cheetah curb threw you off, whereas you were expecting something different?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the M2 would be able to absorb it, but no, it does not.
Hey,
So
Ali, it's an
yeah.
M2. It's not a monster truck.
It's
I thought the
basically
M is
a
standard for monster truck.
glorified road car, so it's got maybe a little bit softer suspension than you're used to in the GT3, I would say.
Yeah, I thought I could do it, but it didn't work. I had to return to the garage. But it was fun when I rejoined. I got back right behind Dan Brace, and there was a bunch of fighting going on. I didn't want to mess with their fighting, but I made this move in the S's, which was pretty cool.
We had the
But
pleasure of catching that, so
oh, you did? Yeah.
yes, as we thought it was for position and we thought it was somebody else.
No.
And it was like we were freaking out, and they were like, "Oh no, it's just Ollie Raza as a back marker." That is something that I never
Yeah.
thought I would say, but here we are.
I think from now on we'll just refer to Ali as the back marker Ali Raza.
Yeah, that's his nickname in Discord. Actually, I've already seen it.
Yeah. Ali Raza, the back marker. Well, Ali and all of the above. Mike Burkhoff, fantastic race. Good job being persistent on that second race, Mike, to finally get the win. We know Cunningham was putting a fantastic defense on and really exciting racing between you two.
Thanks, Eric. It's good stuff.
Thanks for hopping in.
And also, big thank you to everyone in chat tonight for tuning in, for supporting, dropping some gift subs and some follows. Big thank you. One bigly, of course, Jacob Church, an absolute legend. You are so awesome. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters as well. Of course, that was recently launched. If anyone is interested in supporting, we do have, if I can spell it right, yes, I did, our Patreon link over on Patreon, of course, and down in the chat, and our SimGrid link lastly, before we go. Make sure I type that one right. Okay. So we are going to be rating tonight, of course. So we are going to be rating Buana. So make sure you guys go check them out. Drop them a follow. Hang out for a little bit. Of course, I've been Mike Nause. Eric has joined me for the second race. Thank you very much, Eric. If he's still here.
Thank you, Mike.
He is still here. Okay. And yes. Thank you to chat once again for all the follows. We'll have our follower goal soon. I promise. We need to organize that with Dominic Smedra, but we will find that out momentarily in a little bit. But thank you guys so much, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. Of course, we got a raid before I do that. But thank you guys so much for participating, as always, and supporting, and just making what we do fun. So thank you guys, and like I say, hope you guys have a lovely evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.